So there's probably three questions that literally all my benzo clients, I do coaching for benzo recovery. Three questions that probably all of my clients ask at some point are: did I do permanent damage? Am I the only one with these weird symptoms? And when will I heal? All right. And if you're watching this, you probably had all three of those questions, right, for yourself. So let's look at the first one. Did I do permanent damage? Overwhelmingly, most likely not. I mean, permanent damage? Permanent? No. I would say not. I would say you would have to, but what about kindling? But what about, I was on 10 milligrams or 20 milligrams of this and for, 10 years. No, I mean, the brain is very adaptive. Now, I'm not saying, hear me before people start disliking the video and telling me I'm wrong. I'm not saying that long-term effects don't happen on benzo. It does happen. And I'm definitely an advocate of getting laws changed, prescription protocol changes, holding doctors accountable. Hell, I'm even for a class action lawsuit for these doctors that didn't warn their clients about the dangers and didn't follow healthy medical scientific protocols for prescription lengths, reasons, dosages. Like, for example, if you went through some grief, I don't think you should be on Valium for 40 years, right? So hear me with that. Did I do permanent damage? Usually, most likely, I'd say for the mass majority of us, no, we don't. But healing takes a long time, and when you're healing, 3 years you've been going through this, it definitely feels like it's going to be permanent. And the other factor you need to consider, which happens all the time with clients, they think, they'll say, I'm 5 years out, I'm 10 years out, and I'm still having these post-withdrawal symptoms. But the more we get into it, what we actually kind of find out is it's not so much, maybe not benzo withdrawal at all. It's this new thing that's emerged, or it's the old thing that's manifested to new levels. Meaning, maybe you had some anxiety when you took the benzo. You were on it for several years. You come off. You've struggled like hell to stay off the drug. It's 2 years, 3 years out. You're still having panic attacks. You still feel foggy-headed. You still feel social anxiety and this and that. These could be very well symptoms of just depression or anxiety. This is what you were left with. But it doesn't mean that's all there is. It doesn't mean that you can't heal from that. Yeah, absolutely you can. So we have to differentiate on some level post-benzo withdrawal from pre-existent or manifesting conditions. So overwhelmingly, no, you didn't do permanent. In fact, I've never had any client that I can honestly say without a shadow of doubt, yeah, this person is 5-10 years out and still going through benzo withdrawal. And I know I'm going to get flack for that. And I know it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen again, guys. I'm saying there is so many cases where people thought that's what it was. And really it was just, look, you were left with agoraphobia or a panic disorder or this crazy depression. But depression can cause foggy-headedness and memory issues? Absolutely. Well, wait, but I thought depression was, curled up on the couch crying every day. No. Fatigue, irritability, trouble sleeping, mental fog, mental confusion, headache, palpitations, heart palpitations, GI problems. Sound familiar? So it gets really hard to tell, see the forest from the trees, so to speak. So moving on, am I the only one with these weird ass symptoms? Right? This one I get. Again, these are every client, and that's because it's so hard to believe that what we're going through is not a subjective thing. It's not just this rare thing. Like, I'm trying to think of some of the stuff that I had that I thought people that no one else had. What would be? The night terrors. I was having night terrors like constantly, waking up feeling, I would blink. It felt like, and when I did finally have sleep, I could blink and I'd wake up from a dream of like a grizzly bear attacking me, or some poltergeist chasing me through the woods or something. I mean, it was just, and I thought, there's no way anyone else is going through this. Another thing I had was flashing lights. I'd look at the blinds and they would start shaking, and I would think, oh my God, I got an ocular tumor or something. This has to be a rare thing. No, people have that. I remember, making cereal and putting the milk several times into the cabinet instead of back into the refrigerator. And I thought, oh my God, look at my memory's shot. This has to be different. I don't think anyone's ever had this. No, happens a lot. And so, when I'm talking to a client, a lot of times they'll ask me, they'll tell me something like that, like I'm having flickering lights, and I bet you've never heard that before. And I say, yeah, a lot of my clients have said that, and they go, "What? Are you serious?" And I go, "Yeah," and believe it or not, yeah. So, am I the only one with these weird symptoms? No. So give yourself some peace of mind. This is, your question then becomes, this is how crazy benzo withdrawal is? Absolutely. Yes. Worst drug to come off of on the planet. Nothing's worse than benzo. I mean, I would challenge anyone. I would come off heroin 7 times before I'd go through the shit again. And finally, one of the most common questions is, when will I heal? Which I've addressed many times in the video. I cannot answer that, unfortunately, for anyone. I can try to give you a ballpark estimate, and like that. And I say, if you've been on it for 2 years, it'll probably take you 2 years to heal. But after 2 years, it's not the same rule, right? Because then I got in flack with it for saying this before in another video where people say, well, I was on it for 10 years, so you're telling me it's going to take 10 years to heal? No, I'm not. I'm saying 2 years is kind of the rough estimate on the long end of things there. And I also like to say, I notice that for the mass majority of clients, maybe 80, 70, 80%, 60, 70, 80% of their symptoms and healing happen within the first year coming off the drug. After about 2 years, I mean, what you're left with is likely not benzo, and it's more likely this pervasive depression that was, that has emerged and manifested and gone to some ugly levels, or it's, stress, it's anxiety, it's agoraphobia, it's a sleep problem, which can, of course, create a whole nother host of problems if you're going through sleep problems. So you will get better, yes. No, you didn't do permanent damage. No, your symptoms are not, so rare. Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching and listening. Please click the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the content. And be sure to check out my book on Amazon, The Powers Manual, Benzo Guide to Recovery.